I'm Drakos. This is Jackspectra. We're ready to cast the first 2 games of the day for you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Look, I have so many jokes ready. I'm so excited about today.
Yeah.
But jokes come second. First up, we got to talk a little bit about expectations for these teams. I don't know what to expect from either of these teams, to be honest with you. I think Rogue have been getting more aggressive. I think Vitality have been staying just as aggressive, mostly in the support position. But it worked yesterday against SK, and it's leaving me with this weird feeling where I'm not sure what to expect. Vitality, though, already expecting a red side Adam pick, so we'll take the Garen off the board.
Wow, the Garen ban is kind of crazy. I mean, I've been liking what we've seen from Rogue. Definitely more proactivity, more action. I want to see some bot lane fighting. I think when Vitality has lost their games is when their bot lane falls behind. I think Malrang is great at abusing lane volatility, and I want to see him pick an early game jungler and start camping that bot lane, and let's see how many deaths we can get on Hilly.
Look, it's a noble pursuit, a strategy that many junglers, I'm sure, have tried before. And we'll see how it works out. And I like the consistency, right? We saw a little bit more aggression from Malrang. We want them to keep dialing that in. Against Fnatic, you had to be ready to fight fire with fire, and I think it is a similar story against Vitality. Safety for Czajek in the mid lane in the form of the Viktor. Rogue, what do they want to go for Larssen here? Already, of course, the Azir's been banned away, so Varus will be the first pick, just securing something with some strong early prio.
It's going to be the Vi as well, paired up with that Varus. Not very strong early game. Mostly just going to be waiting until level 6. So probably Malrang is not going to go too crazy on this pick. Also curious to see the Viktor, because it got nerfed on this patch. They're on live after all.
Yep.
And it's still first pick or ban, pretty much.
And this is one of those things where I think it takes a long time also for teams to give up safe champions, even when they are hit a little bit with the nerf bat.
Yeah.
But we'll see if Viktor has retained that same amount of strength. This still look good, obviously, throughout most of this week. But Lyncas getting his hands on the Wukong late game team fighting does seem pretty good for Vitality with the composition they put together, but I'm a bit more worried about early to mid game when you're facing down the Ambessa Vi combination post level 6.
Yeah, we've seen this combo played a lot. It just sets up the Ambessa so easily with the point and click from Vi. I'm quite curious to see how this Wukong is going to perform though. I don't feel like we've really seen it much at all, but it's very good into 80 champions, and Rogue already has 3 of them, so I could definitely see this being a pretty damn good Wukong game.
And we've been here before. Does armor matter?
Yeah.
The results
well, this time he has it in his kit and he can buy armor.
He gets armor for free from the Stone Skin passive. Maybe it'll be enough to punish everyone who's just building comps with only physical damage.
And we see Rogue in the second phase targeting the ADC pool, banning out the Saya. And it's a really good pick into the Vi, kind of a classic pick. And they're probably going to keep targeting the ADC. I'd assume maybe an Estral. Oh, it's already banned first phase actually. Corki. So yeah, even more mobility out.
And for those curious as to why there's so much AD, targeting happening in picks and bans here, I think it's safe to say that Carzzy has been kind of the strongest individual member that we've seen from Vitality. Even when some of the lane phase have been a little bit suspect, he's still finding ways to salvage what could have been losing 2v2s. And with Nautilus and Orianna banned away, Vitality are hedging their bets a little bit on what they want. But again, more point and click is definitely not what they want to give away, so the Nautilus taken.
Yeah, I could see Larssen going for maybe the Azir here on 4 and then going last pick for Execute.
Azir banned, man. You got.
Oh, yeah, I'm trolling here. But picking Rakan here is kind of strange because you already see the mid lane pick. But maybe they just really value the Rakan synergy with Vi and Ambessa. They already go in for you, and Rakan's a great follow-up. But it's a bit weird. Usually you always want counterpick on support.
How do you feel about Adam counterpicking Garen?
It's banned. So.
Hey!
Yeah, I don't know. The bans are a bit slow. Well, he could go Darius.
I'm trying to keep you on your feet. I'm just trying to keep you on your feet. It's a little bit of a test.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't expect. I just wanted to leave potential for the mid lane and best of flex. Okay. Whoa, right. All right. How much do you know about this champion?
I know it quite well.
Damn it. Okay, I thought I was going to get to sound really smart
OP
this
when the enemy plays it, and it's useless when I play it, so I feel like I'm pretty familiar with it.
Me too. You can ask Dag about it later. Okay, this generally, from what I know of Nilah, you really want to be playing against an enemy melee support so that you can, harass a little bit. You're not completely punished here.
I think that the idea here is that, so obviously Rogue wants to dive. They got the Vi, Ambessa, they're going to jump on whoever they can. But if you jump on Nilah, she presses W.
Yep.
And then what are you going to do? You can't really one-shot her in that time frame, and you need to wait it out. And hopefully during that time, Hylissang is going to CC, Lyncas is going to CC, even got some Viktor W. So she just is able to buy so much time. Oh, we got the Galio Vi. Really cool, both team comps actually.
And I think this is the thing, is Rogue are showing us something that we've seen in the hands of many teams at this point, right? A lot of engage options, this dive combination with the Ambessa Vi. Vitality are showing us something new in the sense that counter dive to an even greater degree. Having Viktor trying to survive, not enough. They got a Wukong, not enough. They've got a Nilah now too. And the question is, Rogue with this composition, can they find these picks? Can they find these individual kills? Or are they going to be forced to dive this Nilah? And the later you get in the game, the harder it gets because she starts hitting like a truck very early on.
Yeah, to be fair though, one thing I feel like Rogue has going for them against this Nilah pick is they just have so much CC that if they kind of ping-pong the fight well and they play it slow, they can easily bait out the Nilah W and then re-engage with either Galio or Rakan or even Ambessa. I'm assuming from Vitality we're going to see a swap because Nilah's an interesting champion. When she plays with a range support, she actually has a really good laning phase because she just kind of tries to get pushed and the range support pokes. But when she plays with a melee support, you guys are both kind of melee champions, so you're super vulnerable. So I'm expecting to see Vitality just swap to get out of the first few levels of the laning phase. Maybe we see Rogue try to kind of match it, and then we have some early game fist fight going on. But I think Rogue is also kind of fine farming in the early game so that Malrang can just get to level 6 safely.
Level 6, crucial. Again, the point-click CC, the simplicity of it. Larssen, again, we saw the Sylas earlier this week. Now we're seeing the Galio, a departure from control mages. And maybe this is a situation where Larssen can take an advantage that he finds in lane or elsewhere on the map and convert it into a lead for the rest of the team.
They did also like really target his champion pool. You know, when you ban out the Azir and you ban out the Orianna, there's not really many good control mages left. You could go something like Quay, but it's not that useful, so I'm not too surprised to see the Galio. It's also great with the Vi, like we saw Fnatic playing, I believe, on Saturday, the weekends together, the Galio Vi wombo combo, both point and click. Very nice.
30 seconds until minions
So,
spawn.
it's always interesting in games like this where you know it's going to be a fist fight at level 6 to see if anyone will fist fight before level 6.
Yeah, you can see Rogue is kind of predicting the swap, so that's why they're like 5-man sitting in top side, because they think Vitality will look to late to mid top to try to get a swap going. It looks like, I think, Vitality is gonna still go for the swap, but we'll see. It's a bit of mind games at this point, right?
I mean, this is the awkward thing about doing without really any vision.
Yeah, what you'd want to do as Rogue, when you really don't want to let the enemy swap, is invade on one side. But their level 1, I think, is weaker. Yeah, it's for sure weaker. It's like, I mean, Vi and...
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, Nilah level 1 isn't insane. Extended fight, it
I mean, if they
is.
face check into you, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Nako taking a bit of a poke there.
Oh.
He's going to TP down to bottom side. So that cooldown already expended just to ensure the swap.
Yeah, so that just tells me that Lyncas is probably going to be really attentive to covering this dive, because a lot of the time when you get dove as a top laner when you're in a swap situation, it can be fine because you can TP back. But if Nako now gets dove with no TP, it's a disaster.
It's also interesting because a lot of the times, one of the strengths of Nilah that we talk about is her ability to snowball experience, right? She just gets more experience when she sits in this duo lane.
Yeah.
And I'm only really used to talking about that in the context of a 2v2. I think it's the first lane swap game I've cast with the Nilah in it. So interesting. It'll be interesting to see what this does potentially for Hylissang or anyone else on the team. I think leaving Carzzy on his lonesome, it would suck to lose out on that bonus. Hylissang is sticking around, but these fast level 2s and earlier level 3 does potentially mean that Hylissang can start to impact mid or any other part of the map much sooner.
Yeah, you can see he's channeling the recall, so he could recall now. The thing is, that can be nice because then he can cover bot with level 2, but it feels really bad for the Nilah because it's like you're picking it for the XP. So if then your support is not going to be there, then you might as well have picked a normal ADC.
It is a little bit awkward. Of course, the other big strength of Nilah is that as she gets crit, she also gets free armor pen and lifesteal, more or less, versus champions. So while there isn't really a true tank on the side of Rogue, Nilah's damage scaling does get pretty insane. It's essentially like anytime Riot wants to make a melee AD carry viable, they have to have some insane scaling in their kit. Yasuo.
I mean, they've put a lot of crazy stuff in Nilah's kit.
Nilah. Yeah, it's
the XP, the armor pen, everything is like...
They're like, we will make someone who can go bot as a melee champion if it takes everything we have.
And it still is so incredibly niche, so... I don't know.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest thing that I have with Nilah is like, why is her E so clunky? And Samira came out before, and Samira E feels so good. Makes no sense.
That's a good question.
But it's better now. They actually like patched it a bit. Oh,
patched it, and holding the wave. Usually is Hylissang. Taking a big chunk of damage.
I mean, he does get to kind of hold the wave, but if he has the base, I'm not too big of a fan of this. Because then again, you're not getting that solo XP or the duo XP that you want from the Nilah. But Patrik is so it's also hard for Rogue bot lane to really stay.
Yeah, and you don't have the Halo Blades, right? He went with the Comet here, which is obviously nice for the poke, but means an extended trade it's difficult.
Yeah.
You can, however, understand with Nilah W, the Jubilant Veil, the ability to dodge those autos, why Halo Blades wouldn't feel like the premier choice.
One thing that we didn't talk about with the Nilah actually is a big part of her synergy with a lot of supports is that she buffs healing and shielding. So the Rell pairing isn't actually the best for Nilah's kit in the sense that, you know, she doesn't interact with the healing or shielding much. But what's nice about the Rell Nilah combo is that once you hit level 6, you have a really clear engage window where you just, if you land the CC, it's usually a kill.
Absolutely. And you have the cleanse on top of it, right? And so if you ever get on top of Patrik, even if he cleanse flashes, it's so easy for Nilah to just run him down. I wonder if we see Swifties here just for more movement speed on the Nilah. Obviously popular on a lot of champions. As Carzzy's getting aggressive here. That's the double stack on the E. Slipstream already used. Nice back step. But just a slightly positive trade.
Yeah, they're going to look to hard push this wave with Rogue bot lane basing, and it should be a decent enough CS lead for Vitality bot lane here. And an even bigger XP lead due to this Nilah jump.
But finally we're,
This thing's level 5. That's kind of crazy. XQ's level 3.
This is the true vision.
Yeah.
You don't understand. Carzzy is here to support.
Yeah.
Hylissang. Get him to level 6.
Hylissang.
And I gotta say, like, I actually kind of like this, like, setting up Hylissang for success here, because I think one of the struggles
He took a solo plate.
I think one of the struggles that Vitality has had multiple times in their history with Hylissang is that I think you've got to be all in on Hilly, or you got to be all in on somebody else. But the halfway measure, you know, it doesn't really work. It is really all or nothing. Like, you gave the man your lungs. He gambled them away. You got to go get the lungs back, or you're just not going to be breathing.
Double or nothing.
You gave your life to this man. You're committed at this point.
Yeah.
You know? Exactly. Double down. Gamble. I'll pretend they're clapping for whatever that was that we just discussed. But instead, it's the Hextech Drake. No one's getting any feats of strength. And this is a surprisingly quiet game.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what ends up happening, right? When you have this lane swap coming out, where neither both lanes are really interacting with each other. It's going to be probably a grub contest here from Rogue, though. Varus is a bit late, so now it's going to be able to push out this top wave. And Cassandra has TP. I think we might have a fight attack. Good.
Are they going to get level 6 in time? That's the big question. Lyncas still a little ways away. Needs one more camp. But Rogue, despite the initial push, Rogue still able to get positioned to get at least one grub away. Again, that will deny the feat, or the credit towards the feat for getting objectives.
Santa's not TPing, so it looks like they're just going to drop it. Yeah. Just going to give up 3 grubs to Rogue. Bit of a nice fake contest from Vitality. I maybe would have liked to see Cassandra TPing.
Oh, flash out from Hylissang.
Where's Hilly
into
going?
Enemy territory. He's going to W back through onto Patrik. It was all a ruse. Carzzy's still level 5, but he's going to step forward with the slipstream. This is a bit crazy because they don't have the damage to finish this kill.
This looks really illegal from
You
Vitality.
over the wall. Now the ulti coming with the Galio. Larssen on the way. Execute looking to follow up. Flash out. Lyncas now on the chase. Should be able to get at least one kill back. The cancel, crucial. Czajek manages to stop that one. Now there's a taunt here, but Larssen's just one.
Okay, maybe Hill is the GOAT. That looked so wrong, but it was like so good. And Czajek canceling the Galio ult was so clutch. Because if he got that Galio ult off, it would have been a really good fight for Rogue.
Yeah. It's rare that we have...
He just ran into enemy jungle and like mind controlled him into a good fight. That's kind of cool.
This is the thing about Hilly, right? Is I think that...
when you think he's in thing, he's not.
No, I mean, it's not even that. It's like... It's a deeper spiritual question as to whether or not you believe in him. You know, a lot of people ponder religion. I feel like LEC fans ponder, do we think Hilly's the GOAT or not? It's tough to know which side you end up on. It changes every day.
I mean, it might be Caps, but...
No. You said GOAT. I didn't start the GOAT conversation. I'm just using the words that you used.
Fair enough.
But so far, so good. Early steel caps, certainly going to feel solid. Carzzy well on his way to finishing Collector. Just fantastic early item spike for Nilah.
Yeah. Winning lane as Nilah is such a privilege because it just allows you to further snowball this XP lead so much. Like, he's going to be probably up like 2 levels after this wave, or very close to it, which is just...
Well, and winning it with a melee support, right? Which is kind of the big uncharacteristic thing. If you had a Senna in your lane, it'd be much more believable.
Yeah.
But now you have a lot of the strengths of Nilah without needing any additional strength in lane to carry her through. It is so hard for Patrik to walk up at this point. The XP deficit means he probably gets one shot if he walks in, he has no cleanse. And Vitality very aware of it as they're just taking their time pushing this wave.
I'm also not the biggest fan of Patrik going for the lethality route this game because he has champions that are going so deep. I would have liked him more to just go for the DPS route, which is also better scaling. I feel like him sitting in the back line throwing Qs is not really... doesn't fit with the identity of Rogue comp very well.
I mean, he's the only person sitting back, right? But I guess the other argument would be, how does he actually get in the fight with all these other champions?
He just clicks forward, I think.
They all got a lot of dashes.
CC and
I don't know if you know about this about Varus, but he just kind of walks.
That's
you know,
true.
Whatever he's doing, he just walks menacingly. Everyone else in this team has like a dive, a dash.
But also, when you keep in mind the fact that you're... Oh,
Flash out from Patrik.
really good play from Hilly.
Yeah, just gets that. And now it's even worse for Patrik. The good news is level 6, right, you can just disengage a play as long as you don't get caught out by an E-ult from Carzzy.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to keep talking about this Varus build.
Yeah.
I think so. The biggest reason I think it's bad is because Vitality is going to buy a lot of armor. Your only AP is a Galio, so if you go the on-hit build, you're getting the mixed damage.
True.
So you don't really mind the armor that much. But when you're buying lethality, I see plated steel caps. We're probably going to see plated steel caps on Wukong. We're probably going to see it on Nilah. That hurts as a lethality buyer.
I mean, it's a very... I agree. You've convinced me.
Thank you.
The question now, though, for Rogue is, with the lethality build, how do you navigate a lot of these situations? Early Swifties from Patrik.
I think you still want to stick to your guns and just get a really good engage. And it's not until Varus maybe it's 2 or 3 items that you actually want to try to get poke off. But right now, you just kind of want to have the game plan of follow the Vi engage with all that you got and hope that it's a good engage.
And we need to see, I think, Rogue pick up the pace a little bit now that they've ticked past level 6. Because as we saw in a lot of the SK games where the Galio was played mid, is that it's just not going to match the outputs of a Viktor later in the game. And I think that's doubly true when you're solo AP on an entirely, you know, AD composition. So what can they actually do in this mid game? How can they actually accelerate the pace of the game? Right now it is just trading objective for objective, so second grub spawn for a Drake.
And that's what makes, I think, this Nilah pick so great, is that a lot of the time when you have this Vi Galio comp, you want to have the Galio push out of side lane and then move to mid and look to pick off the ADC. But because it's a Nilah, she has a W, she has the E, she's way too mobile, which means that the only real game plan they have is to either make a play on Cassante or Viktor. And neither seem really that easy at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it's tough, right? If you get ahead of the clock, if you find leads, it might be easier to find that dive on a Czajek. But if you're behind, diving a Viktor is how most team fights end in favor of the Viktor.
Oh, Hilly.
Exactly what he wants. Q flash forward. Lyncas now with the follow-up as well. Patrik going to be in trouble. Hilly using the ultimate ignite now, ticking first kill. And that exchange, the second for Vitality overall. Execute will walk away. But good punish. They knew the window. They knew the flash was not available. They get the cleanse as well, and Patrik drops.
Wow, I'm impressed by Hilly this game. It's clean. He's playing very well. Really punishing Patrik. This is all from the setup of earlier getting Patrik's flash that allowed this Q flash from Hilly to just go uninterrupted. He can't dodge it and just sets up this play, and it's really nice from Hilly.
Looks good. Nako now a little bit in trouble. Didn't see if he used the Pathmaker. He did. 6 seconds left on the cooldown. Things are going to be a little bit awkward here. There's a lot of CC now forced to use the ult, which will reset the W. The flash out, the side step. He's clean with it. He didn't even look back. Just a little skirt to the left.
Vitality are looking good, Drakos. They're getting fancy.
I was not ready for the sudden change of performance because it was a slot fest yesterday, but today, Vitality looking clean, punishing Rogue everywhere on the map. The escape from Nako nice, and not really anything for Larssen to do here on the top side.
And as Vitality, if I'm a Vitality fan, like, I am so happy seeing Wukong fed this game. He's gonna get so much armor from his passive. The champs Rogue has are so bad at killing him and shutting him down.
TP, they're committed. First you don't succeed, try again. Minion's about to die.
Oh,
Lyncas is there. Lyncas is there. There's really just no play to be had. They don't have any more follow-up damage on to Nako. But cleverly, Vitality will just back off. They see that there are more champions in the area. They know overcommitting will cost them. But the second attempt into
great
bottom
cover
lane.
by Lyncas.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Lyncas, but also it was going to be tricky regardless. Nice dash forward. Nako on a tear. Doesn't quite hit the Q3, but wasn't going to be in range in any way. Larssen does manage to escape, but mid lane tower is in trouble the entire time. Plays have been happening on the bottom side. Carzzy pushing in mid, getting some of these additional plates.
It feels like Vitality are kind of like styling on him a little bit, you know? Getting these small leads here and there, just mechanically outplaying. Like there, Nako getting the Larssen flash, just outmaneuvering the Galio like that.
And when we look at the objectives, right, the previous one was just trade for trade, cross-map, nothing fancy. Any team is going to do that. But you're right, when you look at these two back-to-back plays on the bottom side, first one, 100% Nako on playing. Second play, Lyncas is covering well, and it's starting to feel like Vitality are just consistently a step ahead. And when you combine that with a little bit of the hands diff we're getting, it's not looking good for the side of Rogue.
Yeah.
Oh, starting. W back Nako. I don't think he's too scared of the Galio damage output.
Yeah, these tanks are not going to do too much damage, I think. So the next objective I'd be looking for is like the Mountain Drake. Really important for both teams. Just the bonus resistances this game is going to be so important. And I think the biggest win con Rogue could have this game is trying to get towards Soul. Because I think a team fight at this stage of the game, you're not really going to be winning it. But if you can get that Soul, the Mountain Shield is so valuable against kind of this burst comp that Vitality has in the Viktor and the Nilah.
Yeah, the ability to survive there, make those additional tanky stats count just that much more. We are 1 feat of strength in terms of objectives to the side of Rogue. So if they are able to knock down a tower here, if they can find some sort of successful play, bot is low. That's kind of what they were fishing for. They will get the upgraded boots. And I don't think the upgraded boots matter too much for the side of Rogue, but they really do not want to give the upgraded steel caps to the side of Vitality.
Yeah, just giving 5 armor across the board to every single steel caps user.
Plus, I mean, the shield once you upgrade too, right?
Yeah,
just that additional bit of scaling.
The instant stats, for me, it's like, well, it feels the worst, to be honest.
There's the Pathmaker.
This might be something.
Some fist fighting. Does he want to go all out? The answer, currently no.
This reminds me of like Season 9, Tank v Tank. Was it Season 9? Season 8? I don't know.
The thing is, K'Sante can kill people.
That's true. It's like surprising.
There's a certain comfort in watching like Ornn versus Maokai, knowing that no one is going to die.
Or Fist versus Echo.
Yeah, there's just... That was terrible, because that was both high action and no action.
Dread.
There were 50 abilities coming out every second, and none of them mattered. Unless you were an AD carry, in which case you were getting one shot. But if you were tank v tank, it did not matter.
Adam really wants this tower. He's recognizing that mid tower of Rogue is also really low. So it's a race against the clock to see who can get the first tower for the feats.
No, cover. A lot of desperation from the side of Rogue, it's safe to say. Trying to force the same play consistently. Adam level 11, I can see why they'd want to play around the Ambessa, but overcommitting here.
You can see Carzzy is also 2 levels up on Patrik. I mean, Patrik is about to hit level 10, but still, it makes such a big difference for just mid-wave contests, and overall the power of the 2 champions levels are just so OP. Yeah.
And then Nilah gets really scary. Again, the crit scaling on this champion is ludicrous. 2 items. Gonna feel pretty impressive. It's Nako, now Pathmaker, interrupting a bit of the taunt. CC there now is gonna need to ult to get the reset on the Pathmaker. W crucial to try to escape again, and they're just gonna rinse and repeat on this play. Dragon getting taken down in the meantime. Lyncas is happy with that one. Dash through to the minion, Q backwards. Hylissang on the way in. Instant ulti. Nako's still alive. This is not fair. They'll finally get the kill. Larssen's out of mana though, so Hylissang will walk away. A kill traded for the objective on the bottom side of the map. Rogue.
A nice attempt from Hilly from a heroic save, but not quite enough this time, and they're able to take down Nako. But as Vitality, you get the Mountain Drake. I think you're still pretty happy.
Do you want to know what's insane?
What?
If K'Sante didn't have the nerf where he could cancel his ult early, he would have. I think he would have just lived that. You just instantly cancel off the W and you do not die. Just a reminder that this is the most balanced this champion has ever been.
Yeah, but that's a pretty low bar, isn't it?
Wonder if they're tired of it on the balance team. Just the endless K'Sante roasts. Or if they're here for
3 years of K'Sante being OP and everybody complaining. I don't think they're tired, actually.
Nah, they're actually probably really up for another round of casters complaining about K'Sante.
Let's buff them, I think. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, probably. Gotta get the gold win rates up, baby. Anyway, Rogue. Taking down a Herald. And overall, despite, I think, the game pace not feeling quite like what their composition wants, they are still able to get these objectives. First tower, though, you can see all of Rogue scrambling to cover, but Patrik is starting to hit like a truck.
Yeah,
ulti whiffing.
About to give him a compliment on his damage. I think it worked.
First tower. They're so close. They're going to force it. 100%. Desperate to get
a few
this.
autos on this though.
Viktor trying to force the bot climb. It's a tower race. Whoever gets it gets the first feet. Oh, Viktor! Bigger fan of feet, baby. He loves them.
They still need a kill for Vitality, or 2
True.
kills for Rogue, and they might
point.
be about to get it here.
Trying to get that one. Public execution now trying to dash away the Drakehound's step. The Drakehound's retreat. Okay, 1 more kill.
Or 2 more kills.
Or 2 more kills if you're a Rogue fan. I lied. I shouldn't have given away the who's the most excited for feet award yet. Carzzy. Apotheosis pull back. Malrang in trouble. He might just die here, but Larssen, good chain CC, locking him up. Carzzy able to flash back to safety, trying to get a bit more space. They have another charge of Slipstream. The shield coming in. The shield bow does some work, but not nearly enough. Rogue might get the second kill here. They just need to kill Hylissang. Can't get it.
Wow. Malrang is able to set up the Larssen ulti, and he has this whole team behind him, kind of baiting Carzzy and Hylissang in. And they get the mid tower, which is crucial, and another kill for the feats of strength. 1 more kill besides.
All right. Cast your bets. I don't know if we can get a poll. Who gives up the next kill? Or who gets the next kill? We'll keep it positive. We don't want to make too negative.
I think Vitality will get the next
You think Vitality going to get the next kill?
Yeah.
Your faith in Hylissang has gone full circle.
Yeah.
We have flipped back and forth over like the 2 weeks we've cast together.
I'm an
3
open-minded man.
Or a flip-flopper. It's hard to be certain at this point.
Open-minded.
Open-minded. All right, you're very progressive.
Yes.
There it is. Another tower falls. But towers, do we really care? It's about the feats of strength. It's about 5 extra armor and move speed.
I think this is the first time I've seen 12 CS per minute Galio.
That's a really good call-out. I don't think anyone, when they think Chovying, thinks Galio. In fact, they probably think just about the opposite of that. But credit to Larssen.
He's looking pretty strong. 2 items here, and in general, we kind of thought this game would be hard for Rogue, but they made a good pick now. They got the mid-bot tower, and they're looking to have control over this Drake area. And I think a team fight can easily go in their favor at this point.
Definitely can. Still a lot of good tools for team fighting on the side of Vitality. We did see in the game yesterday versus SK, which again was a very odd game. As we got later, Vitality played a bit better as a team. Worked a bit better together around the big objectives. Otacon, of course, now spawning. It is voracious, always hungry. Not to be confused with ravenous, which has been confusing the heck out of both of us, which is another word that means hungry.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing, that one. I think ruinous for me, it doesn't really mean anything. It's like the ruinous Otacon.
They aren't going to call him like Anky Otacon, like Grumpy. Should have given him some cutesy ooh-woo name. Just ruin entirely the motif they were going for.
Why?
I'm a fan.
The Yumi mains, or?
For the Yumi mains, yeah, they've been neglected.
You can see both teams are really angling for some control over the Otacon here. Oh, Malrang.
Czajek. Alright, good lockdown. Czajek flashes out. Lyncas.
I like that. Just take the flash, be happy, don't go deeper. Good patience by Malrang.
Could have been bad.
Yeah, 'cause I think if you ulti in there, if Rell is close, then Wukong CC chains as well, can easily turn bad.
And now the question is, how do they protect Czajek? He's going to be much more vulnerable on the side lane. Any of those ultis connect, the Ambessa, the Vi, etc. Things could get difficult, but for now, Dragon is the objective. Rogue looking to move up to Soul Point here.
He's going to be a free Drake for Rogue here. I have a hard time seeing how Lyncas can get into the pit without suicide stealing, but if he does that, then it's free Otacon, so hope he doesn't do that.
And free feats of strength.
True.
Arguably more valuable. Okay, Dragon goes down. 3rd for Rogue.
Oh,
Execute.
this looks deep.
Going down. Good initial root follow-up now coming from Larssen. It's actually such a clean combo. Carzzy's not even going to play the game for a quick second, but Carzzy out with the slipstream and now the turn and burn. Rogue, if they overplayed their hand, the 3rd kill hasn't come through. Malrang gets to get it. Carzzy trying to hold on. Can they find the 3rd kill in the meantime? What's happening on the other side of the screen? He needs to dodge the Q. Carzzy gets it. Feeds some strength for Vitality. Closely contested. They find another in the back of the play. It's Soul Point for Rogue, but at a damn high cost.
I think the game has just blown open from Rogue. That's going to be execute dead.
Flash in, execute down. Czajek ready to go in. Gravity field for a bit extra slow. Hylissang on the chase. Hextech Ray.
Otacon is going to die as well. This is...
Nako's killing Patrik. There's no way he gets out of this one.
All right, let's see it.
Thumbs up. He's going to Q stack.
Dun, 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 dun.
He has flat. Is he willing to just eat a million tower shots for this?
League of Legends a horror movie.
For who, though, is the question.
Well, we'll see.
W. Forward. Into the tower. Arguably questionable, but another W out to safety. Nako. A little overconfident after that last sequence of play, but Hilly comes in just in time. I was gonna say with a locket. He did not have a locket. I don't know what he
gave
did.
him move speed.
He gave
with
him
the E.
movement speed with the E. Thank
nice.
you. But Otacon will fall. A second life available for Vitality. And while it has been scrappy, like well played in the last sequence.
Crucially, that Otacon falls after the 23-minute mark, which means they can use it to set up the Baron Nashor. You can see here, Execute thinks he can pick out Czajek, knows he has no flash, doesn't get it. Looks like a really good engage onto Carzzy, but Carzzy gets the ult off, he gets the E off, and he gets out. And the whole fight is so split up from Rogue. And Carzzy and Malrang having a little 1v1 here. Carzzy gets the better out of him. And Rogue is just so split up. They didn't get the initial one-shot that they needed with their comp. And if they don't get that, they just get ran down.
Tough. And at this point,
and then Execute's kind of like desperate here, trying to clear the ward.
Something, and we highlighted this already. Once Patrick's caught out, it's really tough for him to survive. Does manage to make it out. Vitality fans,
they're passionate.
Really excited.
Let's see it.
And fair. Okay, so for anyone who's not keeping up with playoff stakes, I know it is 8 teams that make it, but just to catch everybody up, if Rogue lose today, so every team with 5 wins, any team that makes it to 5 wins for the rest of our season will qualify for playoffs, which doesn't affect either of these 2 teams immediately.
But this win is huge for Vitality.
But this win is huge for every other team, and certainly huge for Vitality. Our top 4 preying on Rogue's downfall right now.
If Vitality would have lost this game to Rogue, of course the game's not over yet, but then suddenly both teams are 2 and 4, and you have this scenario where it can easily be like maybe Vitality and SK that don't make it. While if Vitality win this, they secure themselves on 3 wins, Rogue's on 1 win, and they haven't locked playoffs, but they're in a much, much better position.
And I think the thing to highlight is, as shaky as a lot of these Vitality games have been, they've still got those 2 wins, right? And getting a 3rd win here does matter. At the end of the day, getting yourself 2 playoffs, there's a break week 2 between playoffs and the regular season, getting that extra time to practice, to get on the same page, it's going to benefit a lot of these teams that have been struggling near the bottom. And Vitality, even just the difference between day 1, day 2, and day 3, in terms of how well Hilly has been playing, is highly noticeable.
Vitality start the Nash here. I think this Otacon buff is going to expire soon. Kind of want to see Rogue try to wait it out and then look for an engage. You can see Carzzy really wants to fight while the Otacon buff is up. But I could see this being maybe a throw for Vitality here. They're getting chunked.
This is a good time for Patrik to be going for poke. That said, it does not really do much damage.
Good ult from Patrik.
Nako going over the wall, trying to isolate them out. The call is now to finish the objective, and they're going to be able to grab it. Larssen going into the midst of the pit. Czajek still alive on the backside, free to rain down a little bit of extra damage. Hextech Ray hitting, Hylissang standing. With the fight starting to fall apart, Nako might have to make the difference alongside Czajek. That ulti's getting big from the Viktor. Patrik caught out Czajek! The flash in, the siphon power! Taking the hope right out of Patrik's body. Larssen cut down as well. Nowhere for this Galio to go. It's going to take a bit of a time, but a damn good fight for Vitality. A quadra for the Viktor.
Oh my god, this Viktor was covering the whole screen. He just murdered everybody. Wow.
Spoilers.
That looked really good from Rogue. Really good timing. They waited out the Otacon buff so that they were able to actually kill instead of just sending them back to spawn. But the solo laners of Vitality are just too strong. Even though they're able to, I mean, also Nako, great flash over the pit to get Malrang out of the smite. They're able to take down Carzzy, and it looks like this looks like a really good fight from Rogue. They take down Lyncas, they take down Carzzy, but Czajek, look at this ultimate, just so big.
Also, just Viktor against any short-range AD carry at a certain point just feels so completely and totally unplayable.
Yeah.
Q auto, hitting hard. And the fact that Nako, part of this is, of course, when you're all out, you have a lot of Omnivamp, but the fact that he managed to live through that entire fight, despite starting the fight at 20% HP, is incredible.
And I do wonder.
Why we paused the game?
No.
Okay.
I wonder, I talked about the Varus build. Do you think if Varus had on-hit, that fight could have turned out different?
I only remember the last part where he got Q autoed, and no, I do not think that would have saved him. So we are getting now back into game, just a quick pause there. But it's a good question. Question we might not be able to answer here. But the theory crafters, the replay reviewers, for sure will be able to tell us.
At least spent 15 hours trying to deduce if this was
the right call. The build police, they're always out in force. Build and draft police, always ready to show up.
And Malrang is not the instigator this time.
Yeah, I know. Where's the phase?
Hasn't been buying anywhere,
where's the phase rush?
I want to see a Heartsteel Vi or something.
No, don't. Please.
That's the weird item that journalists are still buying, no?
Yeah. I mean, you know I hate it. Yeah. And I know you're trying to rage bait me, because I get that the Clink is maximum dopamine, but I just feel like it's so useless in Pro.
Undying Despair Vi, maybe?
Maybe. little something a little fresh. We've seen it.
Yeah.
All right, Vitality. 4 members strong, no longer empowered here, but Czajek, of course, still has the Baron buff. It's a slow push. It is a little bit awkward, and they're getting cross-mapped.
Yeah, this is a really nice cross-map by Rogue, actually. Just being able to trade tier 2s when enemy has Nash feels really good. It's one of the big weaknesses of Nilah is, to be honest, her siege. Because she's so low range, it's really hard for her to reach any towers. They do have Viktor, however, who's really good at poking. But at the same time, Rogue has good wave clear with Galio and with Varus poke. So if they only drop 1 tier 2 off of this Nash...
And as much shade as you're throwing at the build choice here, Lethality Varus clears waves.
Yeah, it's
like
great for
nobody's
that.
business.
It's great for that.
So while the Baron fight is good, because they didn't keep enough members alive in the context of that fight, they can't really split Rogue up as much as they'd like, and so they don't really get much off the Baron.
The biggest problem is that Viktor got a quadra kill, and he got so much gold that he's nearly on Rapidons. It went from being Galio was ahead of Viktor, and now Viktor is nearly a full item ahead of the Galio, and he's looking very scary.
Certainly. Rogue, next objective, again, 3 minutes and 30 seconds away is Soul for Rogue. I can't imagine they'd want to trade it for the Baron, but they do at least have the threat to limit some of Vitality's options.
Looks like Rogue is willing to drop this tier 2 on top and just want to try to sneak this mid wave a little bit. But Larssen also wants to sneak the bot wave. So they're just kind of willing to drop where they need to drop and just trying to sneak waves wherever they can. And Adam is not respecting anymore.
Push back. Combo's good there. Nako taking a little bit more time. Not going to go all out. Just trying to harass. In the end, it's the tier 2 taken down. Vitality extending their gold lead even further, about 6k in their favor. Most of it on the Viktor.
If I'm
and Hilly.
I don't feel too bad about that. They lost a lot of wave spots. They only got 2 tier 2s with the Nash.
Yeah, if you put it in the context of them having Baron and kind of a fight where the Viktor gets a quadra kill, I think things turn out pretty decently. Are we watching it back?
Yeah, didn't we already watch this?
They're watching it back.
Yeah.
All right, tell me, does on-hit save this?
Let's see. So Patrik autos his count. I mean, there he can't auto because Nilah W.
2.
That was
Nilah W.
Both of them were W'd.
3, 4.
But the thing is, here he would be like so tanky, right?
2.
Kinda.
No, you're coping.
And he'd be life stealing.
I think you're coping. I think you're hard coping. I'm sorry. There are fights where you'd be right, but
yeah, he barely did any autos. But maybe he would play the fight different if he was on it.
Okay, Mr. Revisionist History. I think you're done. I don't think the build was the problem in that fight. I think you have to let that one go.
Are you saying the gameplay was the problem?
Whoa, sir. Maybe. I'm not an analyst. I'll leave that to you. But your build angle's wrong, and the whole world has seen you exposed.
Viktor is the problem.
Viktor is definitely...
And he's got that rabbit on now, so he's even more of a problem.
I don't think there's an item in the game that Patrik could have bought unless he was doing the top lane Mirrorwind build that probably would have kept him alive. You know, we needed some experimental Hexplate Hullbreaker Varus if he was going to live through that one.
I'd like to see that.
You wouldn't?
I mean...
You would spend the entire cast complaining about it for sure.
No, I mean, it's like... Maybe.
Depends on how good it is, right?
Yeah, if he's popping off, then
it's a good build.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I like that.
And again, Rogue is looking to just group up, sneak a wave. They're going to be trying to maybe even cross-map the Nash for Drake setup. That's some crazy emote spam.
Really wants to get that last hit. Was afraid of being denied. Wrong game, but, you know, got to keep the mechanics fresh. Carzzy healing at this point in the game is pretty disgusting.
Execute trying to pull the wave here, but he's in no man's land.
Always going to chase him down. There's no follow-up to get the Celestial opposition at least. Nako now going in on Adam, but that's going to take a while to find that kill.
Decent damage from Carzzy actually. And he's just menacingly standing there.
Nothing to spare. Also proccing. Okay. Baron up.
It's really hard when you have this bruiser into Cassandra and he also loses on side. But maybe we can
try to get a little psycho here. Patrik damage, a few more autos, max health is starting to do some work. He hasn't even gone all out yet, and they've been able to find a good amount of damage. In the meantime, there's no real objective for Vitality to take. Good pick from Rogue.
But it's 20 seconds for Soul for Rogue. Cassandra's dead for nearly 60 seconds.
They don't have a best ult, but they do a Vi ult, and they have Galio
I execute my fish check here.
Patrik, that's not where you want to get caught. The flashback! Deleted! Vitality, incredible patience to find the pick. Patrik thought he was safe. It was absolutely not the case. Larssen forced to flash away. Vitality can just now go grab the Drake, grab the Soul if they so choose.
It's not Soul for Vitality though.
Pull back. Adam getting shredded. There's nowhere to go. The Viktor chasing him down. Lyncas on the chase as well. Execute doing everything he can. The ult comes out, but there's nowhere for him to go. Patrik caught, and we've seen this one before. Vitality find that first kill. They'll get the Drake. They'll have setup on the Baron as well if they want it.
And if I'm Rogue, that feels so bad. You're finally able to kill this Cassante, who's been in your face the whole game, and you throw it all away and just get caught.
I mean, it's tough.
It's tough.
You know, you never know what bush Hilly's going to be in.
Just
and when
assume
it's Hilly,
every bush.
When it's Hilly and Lyncas, and they're working together.
Wow.
And the monkey goes invisible. I mean, it's really tough to... What is the right distance?
Further than what he was. I mean, I feel like Execute kind of knows that this bush is scary, so he's not face checking it. But maybe it's
this
like...
This might have been a communication gap.
Yeah.
I feel like it... Because the way Execute is walking says to me...
He for sure knew, yeah, that
that's
someone is
dangerous, but I don't know if that information was communicated to Patrik.
And then it's just... They get picked
And then
off.
it's, I guess, the frustration wards. They saw Vitality walk away. They're like, well, at least we'll... Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Yeah. And as a player, when you're in these games, it just feels so bad when you finally get this glimmer of hope, and then it's just snuffed out right in front of you.
And that's, yeah. In a game like this, all it takes is, when you're at a deficit, a single mistake, right?
Oh, Lyncas with the crazy flank here.
Another flank. Patrik again caught. Ulti this time for Patrik is good. An extra magic damage shield is not going to help against the Wukong. Lyncas on a killing spree, constantly finding these picks. And he can just keep going because he has the entire team with him. Adam making it over the wall. Lyncas still chasing. Ulti from the Viktor finishing and getting even bigger. Now Nako's in the midst of the fight, taking his time with Execute. Execute, good initial disengage, trying to get away from Carzzy, but Carzzy still untouched, as is Czajek. Nowhere for them to go. Larssen, Execute, Malrang, just not enough here. Goes Golden, has his fist in the air, but he's going to drop just as fast. Double kill for Carzzy. Malrang caught out as well. Vitality can just end it here. They look to push down mid and close this game.
Wow. And it's just beautiful from Vitality. They just find pick after pick after pick, and they're able to just convert it into... I mean, they're so tanky, they can just dive the towers without caring. And it's 10 seconds on Patrik. He does have good wave clear, but I don't think he can stop it. It looks like Vitality is going to be able to take down the Nexus.
Definitely tough. 2 picks. Multiple picks back-to-back. Lyncas kicking off both. Good angle. Patrik is able to grab a kill back, but it does not matter. Vitality are not here to mess around. Or are they? No, they're here to end the game. Wow. Vitality moving up to 3-3. Rogue down to 1-4. From now on, for the rest of the split, any team that makes it to 5 wins will qualify for playoffs.
And a really good game from Hilly and Lyncas from me. Just really good jungle support, good synergy, beautiful.
Was excellent to watch. Your player of the game at LEC on X, of course. Kia player of the game, that is. Nako, Czajek, and Hylissang all had good performances. And I think...
Let's give it to Hilly.
I don't know how we bottle this up and get this every game, but if we do,
we have a nice Vitality.
I'm feeling pretty optimistic about Vitality looking ahead. Vitality fans, happy to have the bow. A good game. Nako wiping the hands off, wiping the sweat off. Not that he even broke one. We're going to go to a quick break. When we return, Carzzy is going to join us on the Analyst desk to talk all about that. We'll see you there.
He doesn't like that. Look at him, he's a good boy, but he don't like that.
Maybe we could play some A-rounds or something like that. I mean, it's a map, right? New towers, new objectives.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Red Bull gives you wings.
but any jungle can be around. I mean, I can the jungler, bro. Just send it. Yeah, sure.
No flash. It's Galio. Okay. I'm watching.
Sorry, Hilly. You are that guy.
Okay.
I will stop. Nilah no ult. Nilah no jump. Has flash.
Go place. Can you kill? Nice.
Go for it.
Nice.
Out with the slipstream and now the turn and burn. Rogue, they overplayed their hand. The third kill hasn't come through. Malrang gets to get it. Carzzy trying to hold on. Can they find the third kill in the meantime? What's happening on the other side of the screen? He needs to dodge the kill. Carzzy gets it. Piece of strength for Vitality. Closely contested.
And another win for the Hive, but Carzzy is already ready to tell us all about this. Vitality beats Rogue today. What did you think about it? Well, I don't know what you were saying to Finn, so please.
Well, sorry?
I don't know what you were saying to Finn if you were talking about
fine.
the
No,
game.
it's all good. I have no idea what I was saying anymore.
All right. Any reactions on the game, the victory? Was it easy? Was it not easy? What do you think?
I mean, I felt like it was supposed to be very easy because we kind of got the swap where Nilah and Rell, we were like we had free lane in the top lane department, so we were supposed to be really ahead of the tempo and get level 6 earlier for the grabs, and then we should have snowballed the game, but we failed it a little bit. We had to swap back to bot because our Xante got doomed after the TP.
Yeah.
And we tried to save him. Yeah.
You guys didn't want to fight the grubs? Because I saw you guys rotated up and you had TP on Xante, but you chose not to fight the grubs. Any reason behind that?
Yeah, I felt like we felt like we are just way too weak. So it was safer for us to scale because the Varus, they were giving up so much for these grubs.
Yeah.
Like the Varus was level 5 to me being level 7.
Yeah,
so
he opened from base just for the grubs. And meanwhile, your bot laner was just chilling down there.
I do just kind of love when a champion comes back and people just forget that they have a passive and Nilah just is 2 levels up on you like that.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Whipping people
basically, we felt like we are going to be a lot stronger for the next fight if we don't fail this one, so that's why we did.
Carzzy, any reactions on Hylissang being Kia player of the game? I know there's been a lot of discussion about the bot lane in general for Vitality lately.
I mean, I'm happy for him. I think he had a good game. Although there was like one really questionable play where he was like running around with Rell trying to cancel the Ambessa TP and ignoring the Varus. I don't know if you remember, ignoring the Varus and Rakan.
Oh, you know, when you've been playing for 10 years and you ULCS, made a finals in your first split with the UOL, you just learn things about the game.
You want to spice things up, makes sense. But yeah, good performance overall. I'll let you take care of this play in review, maybe see how it goes. We'll see you guys next week. I want to talk about the next game with you, especially BDS, Fnatic. What are your early thoughts about this matchup, given what we've seen from both teams?
I mean, I really hope that Fnatic loses, because I want to see Humanoid lose.
Okay. I thought you loved each other. What happened?
Yeah, but it's like a hate-love relationship.
Ah, right. Toxic one.
Yeah, it's a toxic relationship because of me. So I want to see him. I want to see him lose, but I think that BDS are not playing so well, and Fnatic are looking kind of strong. So not sure that's going to happen.
I mean, go ahead, Finn.
Now, what do you think BDS are struggling? Because coming into the split, the expectations were at least they would be like top 16, kind of top 5, but they seem to have really like struggled to find their footing. What do you think is causing that issue?
I mean, to me personally, when I look at their gameplay, it looks like they are just overly stressed because. Like I know the players and how they play and the way they click in official matches, it's just very different from like solo queue or scrims.
And not to point fingers, but you say stressed, and I think Paris and 113 coming back, not having this stage experience that other players have, and usually while jungle and support, you need them to be on the same page for a team to function. Do you think that's a symptom of BDS's weaknesses right now? You can talk as well, guys. That's an open question. That is an open question.
Turns out social cues are hard sometimes. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this with G2, and they're a very high-profile team that went from winning everything to suddenly, oh, actually, turns out jungle support is really, really important. I think there was a great case study of this when you go from off-season to off-season. In LPL, when JDG made their super team, they kept their jungle support together. That worked out very well for them. It meant you can kind of plug and play other roles. So when you're changing jungle support anyway, I expect anything to have a change around that. So the fact that they haven't come into that like with all kind of running full steam ahead, that's definitely something you point towards, especially since I do think some of the individual pieces are still working pretty well. I mean, I think Nuke's having a good game, but it's just that there's no platform for him to really do that much off of because the jungle support is struggling to set up the objectives necessarily consistently in the right way.
Yeah, and actually, when you look at the off-season, one of the hottest names in this off-season was Irrelevant, and I think it's that kind of... Okay, never mind. Let's talk about Humanoid and Nuke. What do you think about Humanoid, Carzzy? Do you have any fun anecdotes about Humanoid?
Any what?
Any fun anecdotes?
Anecdotes?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have
Safe
any
for work.
anecdotes.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
have
we're
any
gonna keep
anecdotes
it
for
on.
him.
Well, his stats, they are amazing. Nuke not having the same stats, they have a great damage, both of them. But I think also because they're playing a lot of these control mages, kind of, that's kind of the key.
And I think a lot of the reason why they have such great stats, and particularly when you look at like the damage percentage of Nuke, just that's ridiculous. I think a lot of that is because top laners aren't doing nearly as much damage as they were before. I think that junglers pick up a little bit of that, but really it has been, at least in Europe, about mid laners picking up the slack as well. Actually, as AD carry, do you feel like you need to do a bit more because your top laner is not necessarily a carry now? I mean, you get a bit of Ambessa or whatever, but it really does feel like mid lane AD carry, they're relied on a lot more than last year.
I mean, I feel like most of the times there is like a high damage jungler or mid laner with you anyway, so it doesn't change that much.
Okay.
I can't really sense any difference.
Maybe the stats are just really that good then. Maybe they're just really good players. Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. Carzzy, thank you for joining us for whatever this pre-match was. A lot of information that we'll be back in a couple of minutes with Natty PDS.
Thank you.